Devastated? Confused? Heartbroken? So many times in life we get thrown for a curve and don't know how to react.
I can tell you the first time I had sex, how was my marriage going to survive? It's over. I remember standing in front of the judge with my 3-week-old baby, looking at my ex. I saw the look on his face, and it was complete rage.
Welcome to When Life Throws You a Curve and How to Make the Adjustment with your host, Katie Hamilton.
Hey everyone, welcome to When Life Throws You a Curve and How to Make the Adjustment. I'm Katie Hamilton. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have a very, very special guest in the house. I'm so excited to welcome Andy Hnilo. Andy has such an inspirational story, and here on When Life Throws You a Curve, you know, inspirational stories of being an overcomer, stories of resilience, are very meaningful to me. So when I had the opportunity to invite him on and timing worked and all of that, I was so excited because his story truly is, you know, he's taken things that were hard and gotten back up and created so much goodness from that. Some of that goodness is right here, and we're going to talk about that today. But I'm going to let him share some of his story because I want you guys to hear it if you're not familiar with him. And then we'll talk all about his products because they're just lights out. So I was in LA, and like Andy and I had kept up over like email and stuff because he used to play baseball, and I'm going to let him tell, you know, that part of the story. So I found out about you through the MLB Wives. They had this Yahoo group thing, okay, which Shonda Schilling, Kurt Schilling's wife, started it. One of the wives knew you and said, okay, you have to try this clay mask, this guy, Andy, da-da-da-da. You must have played ball with one of the her husbands.
John Baker. Yeah, that was Megan, yeah.
So
Megan, thank you. Megan Baker.
Thank you, Megan. So anyway, that's how I found out about you, you know, and then we kept in touch or whatever. And of course tried the mask and fell in love with it. And then we finally met. But the other day, we all, the MLB wives, got an email. Because once you know, if you're in that group, whether you're divorced or retired or whatever, it's this network that's been amazing. Like, because if you were traveling, you had your kid, you needed a pediatrician, or people were getting sent down, you know, or getting traded or whatever. It was this network where we could all come together and talk, you know, and exchange information and all of that. But Rick Ankill's wife, Lori, yep.
Rick's my buddy, yeah.
I knew you knew her. She had, so she did this thing called Our Baseball Life.
Baseball Life.
Yeah, she is hilarious. I love her.
Lori's awesome.
But yeah, Shonda Schilling, she was like, this is the very last MLB Wives group email because Yahoo's getting rid of, you know, Yahoo groups. I don't know if they actually are, but that was the rumor. So everybody said their goodbyes, and thankfully we all get to keep in touch though on Lori's, you know, Our Baseball Life.
That's such a good idea, though. Okay, but you should keep it going. I mean,
I know. Well, I know. I mean, like it was
Yahoo.
It was a godsend, like for me. I mean, and for everybody, because But when I met you, I'm thinking, okay, I know Andy's healthy. I'm going to order some pretty healthy food, or at least a mix. Oh my gosh! When I found out about his real diet, I was like, well, Katie crapped the bed on that one. I think the only thing he ate was the guacamole with no chips. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah, but you know,
keep it clean.
That's good. I mean, it's so like so inspiring. His diet is flawless, but I mean, there's a reason. I want you to tell your story. There's a reason that you take your health so seriously. Like, life is fragile, and we aren't guaranteed tomorrow. So, are you comfortable sharing?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
With the audience a little bit about your journey?
Absolutely. Right, and this is so fun for me. I have to thank you so much for having me on here. That's why I just wanted, it's great to see you.
It's great to see
you.
And
hey everyone, my name is Andy Hnilo. I'm the CEO and founder of Alitura Naturals, a skincare line that I never had an intention to launch or start, or ever an intention to start any business. But that all changed when March 20th, I was just leaving a restaurant in Los Angeles, California. March 20th, 2011, excuse me. And I just left. I was looking down at my phone to call a Lyft just to get picked up and head over to a friend's house. And I kind of just have this bad habit of walking out and thinking cars will adjust, but I was looking down, I lost focus. I got hit by a westbound heading Toyota Tundra, or Land Rover, excuse me. Lost consciousness. I got flipped into the eastbound lane and run over by a Toyota Tundra. Both cars pulled over and got my clothes cut off me in the middle of the street. I was coming back in and out of consciousness, and I just remember being very loopy and looking up at the people. I must have been in the ambulance, obviously, at that time, I think. Yeah, during, the whole everything, clipping off the clothes, and I just remember like the faces right there, and I got escorted, quickly swept off to Cedars-Sinai, which is a very good hospital right down the street, luckily. And I don't remember any of that. I woke up in an ICU bed with my chin protruding through the bottom of my mouth, right? So like you're seeing the calcium of your bone, and I'm loopy. I'm on a morphine drip. I think everything's a joke. I have two of my friends just sitting there. One of them has his head in his hands. His name's Nick Griffin, great dude. And then his friend. And I just went, hey, what's going on? And they're like, no, don't talk, because you want to piece the particles back together. It was the worst compound fracture that Dr. Rosenberg, bless his heart, he's a resident maxillofacial surgeon at Cedars-Sinai, well, at least at the time, and he couldn't do the job. So we, imagine my parents driving down from, Northern California, 7 hours. You know what I mean? It's just.
Well, yeah, no, I can't. My parents lost a son in a car wreck, and I watched their agony as a child. So imagining, when I think about your parents driving down, knowing that their son is in ICU, and okay, they're not there, they're on their way there. That as a parent, I'm a parent. It's the love that we have for our kids is so insanely intense, and as a parent feeling helpless to do something, I would not wish that on anyone, but I can imagine what your mom went through, because I saw what my mom went through, and I just would never, gosh, I am sure it has made your relationship with your parents just incredibly close and special.
Oh, we are very, very close. Yeah, that's a good point. It's my sister Stephanie points out that it's like when you see your children, it's like your heart hopping around outside of your body.
It's wild, yeah.
And can't wait to experience that, hopefully, one day. But that's the one thing that really kind of let the guilt into play, is just seeing, my parents inch their way into the hospital room and see. That's one thing that was just because I was very, very excited. Well, grateful to be alive. Talk about that perspective. People don't survive accidents like that. And I left, leaving the hospital. Dr. Rosenberg couldn't do the surgery, so I had to stick around for a few days in the ICU room until we found a specialist to do the job. Luckily, my mother worked for Stanford Children's Hospital in Northern California, where she knew Dr. I think it was Gregory Schindel, who was the guy for maxillofacial, that whole mandible fracture. He had an apprentice named Dr. Joseph Brugiardi, who was working in Beverly Hills at the time. Bless his heart, man. He not only put me back together, but when I went in there and would meet with him, it was like a therapy session, because they would take x-rays to see how the bone was growing back, and he would talk he would talk to me, and it just such a good dude. And he would tell me, he's like, man, just promise me, man, when you make it, when you get back, he's like, you're gonna be back, because I was working as an actor and model at the time, and he's like, I didn't even care about that, but he knew, I was like, but he knew that was my occupation, and so he just just promise me you'll invite me, I just want to wait till you see yourself on the silver screen. I'll never, and the thing is, I didn't even, if that happened, great, but I was very grateful to be alive. But just the bond that we had every month, going in there for my visits, and just his he's a very gentle approach, but the confidence that he had that I'd be back. It's when you're unrecognizable and your teeth are gone, your jaw's wired shut, 7 broken ribs, collapsed lung, You know, you have your teeth are, I mean, front 3 teeth. So every time you smile, me at least, just me, I was very self-conscious. You know, I used to walk the runway for big companies like Calvin Klein, Levi's, a lot of print. I mean, that's what I did for years. And I had, I was working a lot. And so anyway, anybody, regardless if that's what your occupation or not, when you're not happy with what you see in the mirror, it affects you big time and it makes you self-conscious. And I definitely was. And so, especially in a moment where you don't have your front 3 teeth, like it was this one right here and that, my right, I don't think it's canine, incisor, lateral incisor. Anyway, but I just, so you're like trying to mitigate a moment where you want to be happy and you want to laugh or smile. I remember being at Boa Steakhouse right there on Sunset and just around a bunch of people that I didn't really know, but I knew one person, and like you're just kind of like, I never want to feel that way, but it was very, very humbling. I was humble before, but when you get rocked like that, I mean, I just like, it put a hunger to recover quick and get, my parents to see, my friends, the same Andy, even better, or hopefully better. But I became an absolute it became an obsession of mine, not only to recover quickest, but but I never really took into account. It was a total creative outlet for me to see if I could do it myself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Looking around, sourcing ingredients, it became, like I said, a creative outlet. It was fun. A lot of things didn't work. Many ingredients didn't work, but it was just, I was just creating this meal for my skin to regenerate the tissue and create a lot of circulation to the surface of the skin while like subtly exfoliating that area. When the clay mask, what I'm talking about, when it dries up and it hardens, when you rinse it off, it kind of creates this micro exfoliation, and then the pulling action from the blend of the 4 clays creates this really stimulated appearance, and then the pearl powder and the other ingredients in it that just took about a year and a half, 2 years to formulate. But I didn't formulate it. It was a creative outlet. I was having fun recovering quicker, and it was something that I just hid for a little bit, right? And so I remember a few weeks after the accident, I went and picked up a friend of mine from Burbank Airport named Christina Rodriguez, and she saw me, a week after the accident, just, jaw out to here, no teeth. And so she went like a legitimate double take just back and like, what are you, wait a minute, like that, like, what are you doing? How, like she couldn't even really talk. I'm like,
what is happening right now?
Yeah, but I was hiding it, the mask at that time, like being a guy fresh out of, not fresh out of baseball, but I still consider, I'll always identify as an athlete.
For sure.
But those are my closest friends, and I didn't really want to, hey guys, that want to try this clay mask that I've been formulating. Clay mask, man, get out of here. But it's Christina though. I felt a little comfortable going, it's actually, it's this blend of 4 clays and organic kelp powder, and I started geeking out on the ingredients a little bit. And she lived close, and so I brought some to her. And luckily, she had a friend over. Brought my little bamboo bowl and some apple cider vinegar and a little lavender essential oil, and just mixed it up.
That's my cocktail when I use the mask.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's exactly. It's apple cider vinegar, lavender. Sometimes I put frankincense in there, but the apple cider vinegar with the mask with the clay is like it's dynamite. It's like nothing I've ever used ever.
Yeah. I'm definitely addicted. You got to try pink grapefruit oil, sweet orange, lemongrass.
Okay, I have.
Because it takes out that acidity from the apple cider vinegar and also takes away some of the funk from the kelp. But we're going to be making a little activating oil blend just with really, really exotic botanicals to eat up. Because I understand the kelp powder is a little earthy, especially when combined with apple cider vinegar, but it's got to be in there.
But let me tell you, I've got 4 daughters, so they steal my stuff.
That's
all
awesome.
The time, because whenever Julia will come in town, she's like got that moisturizer and the pearl cleanser and the mask.
Awesome.
And, I wish she could have been here, but she's on the East Coast right now. But so you played baseball, okay? Mm-hmm. And so then when that season of your life was over, then you were into you modeled, and that was your world. So I would imagine. For me, it's so refreshing and even surprising, not necessarily personally surprising for you because I know you, but like if someone didn't know you, they would think that a you know, an injury that's going to potentially take away a career where you're using your, you know, your face and your body to do your work, could have been very, very traumatizing. I'm sure it was traumatizing. But to hear you say like how grateful you were just for life, you know,
Oh, yeah,
like that
yeah.
to me is such, it just speaks volumes of like what's on the inside of you, you know,
thank
I
you.
think is just so amazing.
Thanks.
And, you know, I think life is so interesting how things that can be horrible or catastrophic, terrible, you know, there is such good that can come from it. You know, if we choose to have that attitude
man, yeah.
and having like a grateful heart works wonders in times of tragedy. I mean, if we, like something I always say is like taking inventory of what we're grateful for during a situation
Yeah.
that's like really painful or really hard, you know, because things can always be worse, you know, like we don't always think about that, you know, because people say like, well, oh my gosh, how much worse can it get? Well, I mean, unfortunately, it could always get worse, you know,
Yeah,
but
it
like,
can.
but, you know, compared to how a lot of people, what they're going through, like life is, they would trade places with me in a heartbeat. So it is
Yeah.
refreshing to hear that you were grateful to be alive, and then you got this determination, like something in you was like, I'm going to make something, you know, you maybe didn't imagine it was going to be all of this. But like, how did you start? Like from injury to like getting the clay mask, like, what was the first, because it seems like it happened relatively quickly. You started developing this,
Yeah.
or at least had the thought, like, how did that happen?
The thing is, I had a pre-existing mask that I was doing every Sunday night, as it was. But I didn't tell anybody, just to get ready for auditions and like prep.
Oh, I mean, that makes total sense. That's a great, yeah. That
Yeah,
okay.
it was Rasul clay, bentonite clay, a little kelp powder, and ascorbic vitamin C. So I had that
So
going.
you had like a desire for,
Oh yeah,
health,
nobody would
wellness,
know.
something.
Every Sunday night, my little routine. But technically, that's where, I guess, the beta testing. But I would eyeball things, you know, I'd have teaspoons, tablespoons, half teaspoons, quarter teaspoons here and there. But it never was like an actual identical, precise percentage until it had to be, right? But so I had that pre-existing clay mask, just of a few ingredients, and then after that, I remember Ivan Enchovich dropped off a jar of colostrum on my hospital table.
Oh, that stuff is gold.
It is.
I mean,
And then,
it is gold. Yeah.
And a jar of Manuka honey. And I went home. The Manuka honey, colostrum came from Andrew Nagel. Manuka honey came from Ivan. And then I brought all that home. I knew I had my clay mask. And so I started to think about certain things going, all right, well, colostrum, and I was taking pearl powder internally. So I'll start with the clay mask. But the pearl powder, the only reason the pearl powder came to mind about maybe throwing that in, because it's so expensive. But I was taking that internally, and I'm like, all right, well, I broke it open a little bit because I would put it in a blender. I would make this really intense morning tonic of adaptogenic herbs, Ayurvedic herbs, medicinal mushrooms, amino acids. I remember my sister Brooke boiled some beets for the first time and then put them in. And so I had my jaw wired shut, and so my body couldn't handle it, so I threw up through the wires, it was, I can't even, because when your jaw is wired shut, just picture yourself trying to get that throw up out of anyway. But so I made this really, really nutrient dense morning tonic. I'm talking deer placenta, bison liver, raw egg yolks.
I knew there was like buffalo liver or bison liver. I remembered that, and I was like, you drank a shake. I was thinking this boy drank a shake. I thinking your jaw was wired shut and you threw it up at one point, right?
Yeah. The first time, my sister.
I mean, I would have thrown it up for sure.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's
right.
even.
I don't know if I could have done it, but you know
Salt.
what? You don't know what you can do until you have to do it. So.
Oh yeah.
You know.
At that point, my body literally just couldn't handle it. I don't. In making that tonic, I had pearl powder that I would break open. I met with 3 different Chinese herbalists to create this tonic to just regenerate my inside, my blood, build my blood, circulate that blood, and escort the impurities out of my system as quick as possible. Because I was going through CT. Well, I had 1 CT scan, X-rays every month, antibiotics that just put me in a flat out, like I was a zombie. I was in a fog, cloudy, and so I was like, man, I wasn't used to this. My zest as a human got. Yeah, I mean, it was gone.
So out of your products, okay, you brought over to that hotel your presence.
Yeah, you
yes,
love that.
This stuff is like heaven.
That's
it's
my
so
baby.
good.
Yeah.
So tell me about your latest products, because I know we're running out of time.
Consciously, I would listen to my customers. They would reach out and ask for what I would recommend post clay mask, and I would go, wait a minute, why don't I just make my own? That's when I went forward with the moisturizer. But that was very, very tough. Like it took 22 tweaks to make. You know, Alitura is Latin for feeding and nourishing. No. And so, you know, your skin being your largest organ, you want to treat it like another mouth. So many products on store shelves.
This moisturizer.
Yes.
This is so good. If my skin's ever having a freak out, or if if I've been too aggressive, this is like my very first go-to.
That's
absolutely love that stuff. It's so freaking good.
Yeah, that's a big misconception. It's like, you know, our artists, painters, they need an oil solution to clean out their brushes. It's like oil, good, healthy, essential oils can actually help blend and cleanse the system from those clogged pores, and just, you know, it helps for the removal of dirt and oil. And it's a big misconception as far as in skincare, non-comedogenic and all that. It's just one of those things where, I mean, in the testing phase, we wanted something for all, as close to nature as possible for all skin types. I didn't want to do any customer confusion of like normal to dry, combination oily skin. It's like, I just really believe that this is very self-regulate, helps your body, your system self-regulate oil and sebum production. And I mean, everything on there, that's food grade. I mean, that body lotion, clay mask, most of our products are, but the night cream, I'm pretty, very happy with that one. That was made out of a cast iron pan, and then I took those the bases of that, as far as like cacao butter, beeswax, sea buckthorn oil. What else did I have? That colostrum, obviously. Manuka Honey, K Factor 16 Manuka Honey from Weatherspoon. That is it. Yeah, I mean, it's
used that last night. Like,
so active,
all over my face and my neck, because I just needed like extra. You know, like I'll use my products and then like I'll put that on last, so like I feel like it seals it all in. I don't know if that's the protocol, but that's how I use it. And
no, definitely.
I love it. I mean, it's just so good, especially like, you know, when the seasons change. I feel like my face or my skin or whatever just kind of like needs extra TLC.
Absolutely,
and I mean, it doesn't ever clog my pores, ever. I mean, it's not too much. None of your stuff is. The clay mask is just wild. I don't even like, it will always be like probably the most revolutionary product that I've ever tried, because it was like, I mean, you could see and feel a marked difference, like after the very first time you use it, and every single time you use it. Like, it's fabulous. Real quick, your Derma Roller, how do you do it?
All right, so you want to, I cleanse with our Pearl Cleanser. The good thing with our Pearl Cleanser is we're using colloidal silver in there as an antibacterial
really
agent.
Good too.
Pearl powder, kale and clay, tremella mushroom, and a blend of essential oils in there that really just condition the skin and clear out the skin, clear out the dirt and oil on the surface of the skin without overly drying it. And so that's why I love that. So what always cleanse, whether it's my cleanser or someone else's, before you use any Derma Roller. You know, stay away.
Are you a two-time? Well, you're not a makeup wearer. Like, I cleanse twice. Like, I have
double cleanse.
Yeah, I mean, I do, because it's like, one is like get my makeup off, and then the next one is like to clean my skin.
Okay, so you're doing like a foaming cleanser and then something a little more gentle to kind of leave it with a little hydration.
I would use like an all natural like makeup wipe, and then I'll use a gentle cleanser or the Pearl Cleanser. You know, I mean, I go through like a few, but I use that one. I use one by Elta. I use one by Image, but they're just very gentle. But that's in my regimen.
So the thing is, I am doing a giveaway to the following. I want to give away the entire collection.
Oh my God, that is so generous of you.
I mean, you're awesome. I mean, I'm sure you're following similar to yourself. So yeah, I mean, I just love this, and I'm happy to share. So we're gonna do that, and then our complexion perfection package is 2, and then instant radiance package, so 3. We're just 3 giveaways to
3 giveaways,
full
guys.
Packages.
That is so generous. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what are people's? And then I have to hear about what's in that little white thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Or the black and white thing. Okay, so tell me about that first, and then we'll do the rules for the giveaway.
All right,
'Cause
so with the Derma Rollers, this is 600 titanium micro needles. So it's good. Always just, everybody out there, make sure you stay away from plastic, any plastic Derma Rollers. You see companies out there, I mean, stainless steel, I guess, is okay, but titanium's good. That was like what.
So that I have a couple of them. That one, I think that's maybe one of mine. Is that the 1 centimeter?
This looks, yeah, that's fine.
And what do you recommend that?
I mean, I would work your way up. I'd work your way up from.
Because you have a 2.5
I have
or
a
0.25 and a
0.25,
0.5.
0.5, and then a 1. And so those are the lengths of the little micro needles that you're going to be rolling on top of your face that create these tiny little micro wounds that signal to your body to create a thicker collagen layer. And also it allows for an optimal pathway of the ingredients like the GHK copper peptide in this and the gold serum. I mean, that's my whole routine is cleanse, derma roll, clay mask, scrub, and then with gold serum. It sounds like a lot, but it's just.
So you don't put that. So like if you go to a place and get like, you know, PRP with like high frequency or whatever, like they put your plasma on your skin and then.
Yeah, they roll that in. So it's basically in a little, it's in one of those, a longer micro needle. What they'll do is they'll put your plasma in and then all around. That actually, I mean, what I do from time to time,
I would microderm, I mean, whatever that is, derma roll, and then put the stuff on so that it's getting in there. So but that's not how you do it. You do it with a dry face.
I do that. I do that every now and then. But I have to toss the derma roller, you know what I mean? Because I'm only going to do it once because it's got to be, clean. If I'm rolling that after applying to my face and then rolling that into my skin, I don't want to, I don't want that to. But that's a great treatment that I obviously have a lot of the derma rollers at hand. But I would just use it once. I would do that once a week. That's actually a really good tip right there.
And then how do you suggest cleaning your derma roller?
With isopropyl alcohol. Witch hazel's great.
I love witch hazel.
Yeah.
I mean, I use alcohol, but I didn't know witch hazel would clean it. I mean, I guess, but.
Yeah.
So.
And then just make sure you close it and you do not share. Do not share those.
No.
I've never broken out as badly as I have. 2015, Steve, sorry, man. He did well. Yeah. But so that's the routine right there. But I definitely want to share.
Okay. So what is the
what
in
this
that?
is.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
So what was it? So I've been working a little over 2 years on this. So yeah, Maggie in North Carolina recommended. She suggests certain ingredients to me every now and then when she sees something. She works at an ingredient supplier for me, one of my ingredient suppliers, and so she'll run certain things by me, and obviously I have to see the inky name and the cleanliness like behind like what's actually in it. If it's too over the top, like synthetic, then I won't do it. But she brought up Meteorite Powder to me. So from a meteor that landed in Morocco, ultra ventilated, finely ground meteorite powders. I mean,
and that's like the most fascinating thing ever. Because I love meteor showers, just like watching them is like one of my favorite things in life. So,
right.
I mean, now granted, I didn't know about any type of health benefits.
The thing is, it's made of, right. I mean, it's made of carbon. But I mean, the thing is just like the micro exfoliating aspect of that. I mean, it's a tri-level exfoliant system. So we're using organic ground cherry pit, organic ground olive pit, poppy seed, and then meteorite powder and a little bit of volcanic. I mean, we have it's like, wait till you try, because there's so many, it's like a multi-level, multi-size particle system that exfoliates the outer layer of your skin with lactic acid, fulvic acid, and hyaluronic acid, and as well mandelic acid as well. So we have 4 different acids in there to treat the skin while it's getting. I mean, it flat out resurfaces your skin.
Oh my gosh!
Flat out resurfaces. Bamboo stem cell extract. Bamboo grows. I mean, so that's one thing. It's obviously nature's highest source of silica, and then it's a stem cell extract of that. So it's just Wait till you feel your skin. We have pearl powder in there.
So is this
I'm not trying to sell this either.
No,
I'm just really but I really am not. Like I'm just kind of thinking right now.
I know you're not, because I know you're not trying to sell it. But
no, but I mean I am. But I'm saying like I don't want to be like ShamWow or remember that guy. But like that, And then I have so much more in here too. There's, Montana U-tip powder. Well, I met these sweet women, or two sweet women at the Natural Product Expo, 2000. I want to say, what was it, 2017? I think it was. And then they have this little U-tip powder, YEWTIP. They're out of Knoxon, Montana. And I'm really, really happy with this. This is taking quite a while. These all take long. If it's too quick, it doesn't seem right. It doesn't feel right. I mean, it's seriously.
No, that's something that I love about your products. You said Presence took years.
4.5 years, yeah. And
is it a once a week exfoliator, or like what is this? What is?
It's, yeah. I mean, I'm like, I would recommend 1 to 3 times a week. It's when I'm testing it, and I mean, I mow through the stuff. I would say, yeah, I'm probably 3 times a week. I take a day off in between, and the estheticians out there are probably gonna say, I have different opinion on this, but I use this in the shower to rinse off the clay mask. Apparently, you're supposed to do this before you mask, or you can do it on days in between where you don't mask, and that's fine too. Where obviously you're in the shower, but
I understand their logic. I understand the logic of doing it before, because they're trying to say that
pull
you're
off that surface. Yeah.
But this clay mask is so different than any other clay mask, and sometimes I'll even steam with this on, or I'll get in the shower, or I get my infrared sauna with it on. I mean, any way I've ever done it, it's always worked out well. So I don't really know what's the best way, but it just works.
Yeah, and that's. Thank you. I mean, that's the thing. The products work very well together, and they're all unique. They all started from a blank canvas, I call it. It's just that, because sometimes you'll see brands that they'll change a speck of ingredient out. Now it's for normal to dry rather than normal. You know what I mean? They'll change out the fragrance, but it's the exact same base. I get it. You're gonna create higher cart value, but for me personally, I don't want to confuse the customer, and I want it to be. This is a reflection of me. What I want to do, how I do things. And so I've got to make it. I want to make it aligned with that.
So what's the name of this exfoliator?
So that's it's a Meteorite scrub. I wanted to show everybody what the tube is going to look like.
Okay.
But I'll show you after, obviously. But it's like this sugarcane tube, short and wide. I didn't want to go tall and skinny. That's what everybody else says. Short and wide, black matte cap, with like this white, kind of glowy to infrared, kind of terracotta colored meteorite shower, domed, arched around the logo, the Alitura logo, with a little meteor in the middle, and like a split, thick to thin.
I know exactly what you're saying.
And then meteorite, just the word.
That is beautiful.
Eau de Comage,
beautiful.
facial scrub, 4 ounces, 3.4, 100 mil, and I seriously, but I really mean, I saw an article about Vintner's daughter, and beautiful Angela, you're awesome. I mean, as the best skincare product ever made years ago in Cosmo magazine. Have you ever tried her serum? It's unbelievable. It's really good. It's really good. And they had an article that it was the best skincare product ever made. I swear. I mean, that's the goal to have something like that. That's gonna be talked about long after I'm gone. I swear, that right there, everything in it from start to finish, it's a perfect ingredient deck. Yeah,
oh my God, you have to be so satisfied, fulfilled. I mean, I can hear you talking about it, and when you make something that you're proud of, that is good for people. I mean, you never come down. There's a certain it's the gratification level is just out of this world.
It's the best feeling in the world when you sign off. The revision process is what's the word?
You have to be very dedicated.
Very stressful. Yeah.
But just because someone doesn't do what they're supposed to do doesn't mean we don't need to do what we're supposed to do.
It's a testament to your strength.
It's like integrity and character and all of that. So it unfortunately is not common. It's not the norm, I would say, to see it all around. Or all the time, but when you do see it, I think you appreciate it very much.
It's jaw-dropping when it's similar to it's very important to me. It's very important to me, and I do want to say it's a testament to your strength. Katie, I read the book, the Josh Hamilton right now.
What,
now I'm forgetting the
his
name.
book?
Yeah.
Beyond Belief?
Yeah. And so I'm telling you,
that was like baby food.
But yeah, so I just want to say, like, it was motivating to me just to see how he bounced back. And then so I really, I read that book, I admired and respected. And so, but I just want to say, like, that I don't think I ever mentioned that to you. That I was kind of that's why it's really cool to be a friend of yours. Also, on top of you just being very kind and sweet and supportive. And this is all meant to, just an example of how this is not a coincidence. It's just kind of like
not at all. I love how God works. He's so cool. And it was very interesting, fun, cool how I got to know you and know about Alitura, and it's been awesome to see your journey and see how successful you've been. And I know you're, the best is yet to come. That's why I texted you.
No, I know.
I know that's what it is. So anyway, thank you so much for being here.
No, and thank you so much for having me. And I really wanted to do this. And sure, everybody's like, yeah, you can do it Zoom. But number one, I wanted to be here and I wanted to see you. And I just really appreciate, who you are, your authenticity, your kindness, and your consistent kindness and sweetness just have me on. And also you've been so supportive since 2014, and I just really means a lot. So thank you. And I also want to, we can say like 20% off the entire store and free shipping, like code gratitude. Did we go over that?
We didn't talk about that.
Okay, but yeah,
that's extremely generous of you. Y'all hear that? That is so kind.
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Is it you like that?
I love gratitude. I think it's beautiful.
Me too.
So it's gratitude. What'd you say? 20.
So just the word gratitude, no, not case sensitive.
Okay.
20% off the entire store, and then free US shipping, and then we'll get that dialed in. If you have any questions, it's Andy@alitura.com is my email, and then alitura.com is our website, ALITURA.com.
And where can they find you on Instagram or
Facebook?
What are you? Obviously I know you're on, but what?
Yeah, it's at Andy Hnilo, ANDYHNILO.
I was like, how do you say that last name?
Oh man, yeah, everybody thinks it's Hawaiian.
Love your last name though, Hnilo, HNILO.
Thank you.
It's a good one for sure.
And it's just at Alitura, ALITURA NATURALS.com. At Alitura Naturals, because the guy who owns at Alitura, he's playing a hard bargaining game right now as far as selling that.
Give it up, dude. Not cool. Everyone's out to make a buck. So
I am doing a giveaway to the following. I want to give away the entire collection.
Oh my God, that is so generous of you.
You're awesome. I'm sure you're following similar to yourself. So yeah, I just love this, and I'm happy to share. So we're gonna do that, and then our complexion perfection package is 2, and then instant radiance package, so 3. We're just 3 giveaways to
3 giveaways,
full
guys.
packages.
That is so generous. Oh my! Let's say we'll put all of the information for the giveaway. These are gonna be 3 giveaways, I think you said, on both of our socials and on Facebook and on our websites, and on the podcast. So
yeah, I want to sponsor this podcast. I want to also get you like a little landing page and like Katie's package or something like that. We'll figure it out.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna come up with something very fun for you all. So stay tuned for that. Andy, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you guys for joining us. Stay tuned for more information. If y'all have not checked out his products, please do yourself a favor. And they make great gifts for yourself or for your loved ones. They will thank you very much because the holidays are coming up. And that's going to be all for this one. Thank you guys so much for being here and for joining us. And stay safe and stay healthy. And we'll see you next time. Come find me on social media on Instagram and Twitter at Katie Hamilton 32, on Facebook at Katie Hamilton, and at When Life Throws You a Curve 32, and on YouTube at Katie Hamilton.
The content provided here was supplied by a third party for display on our platform. The content is not owned or created by Real News PR. The views and opinions are those of the creator.